I've been looking forward to this video for some time, and Mr. Chestnut and I are going to take a little bit of your time today and talk about a very important topic. It may not have anything to do directly with the government, the operations of the town of Fairmont, but I think there's a connection here, and I think it's important that we talk about this. As you well know, if you're a citizen of the United States, school used to start after Labor Day, but school start now in late August. And it just so happens that in Fairmont, North Carolina, and Robeson County, school started today for the students to go back and begin their 9 months of education. Teachers have been back a week. Always have teachers come back a week and get them prepared. So what we're going to do is a two-part series today. This video on the 24th, we should have done this last week, but Mr. Chestnut was in the Bahamas on a special vacation. I'm just kidding. No, we had another topic. So we're going to talk about teaching and teachers and that wonderful profession today. And then next week, if you come back and check with us on next week's video, it'll be about the students and what they do and what they learn and what they need to know. I want to start off with a statement that I've been waiting to make for some time, since now I'm on a video instead of just an audio or a telephone show. Teaching is the greatest profession in the world.
Yes, sir.
I'll argue anybody, anywhere, put me in Madison Square Garden in front of the whole government, a whole city of New York, doesn't matter. I believe that the teaching is the most important profession in the world, because on any given day,
Yes, sir.
I can influence the lives of any of my students. May not know it that day, may not even know it the next day. That was a good lecture, Mr. Kemper. That was a great program that you put on. But down the line, it is going to maybe impact that young man or young woman's life. And that's what it's all about. Now, I've got a little something on Mr. Chestnut today. Not much, but a little bit. He's more attuned to his profession than I am to his, because I've never been a town manager. And I was kidding with him the other day, and I said, I got you on the teaching thing. He said, no, I was a teacher. So he taught in the Army and taught some business type things. I taught only in public schools, 2 different states, 3 different high schools. So I got 45 years on the block.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Chestnut's probably got a few less than that. But nevertheless, we can talk to you about teaching. And that's what we're going to do today, is talk about teaching. I'm going to say a few things. Mr. Chestnut's going to say a few things, and hopefully we'll wrap it up. I want to say this now. I'm dedicating my part of this show to every person that I ever worked with in my 45 years of teaching. Some of you I was closer to than others, principals. Some of you I was closer to than others, because the principal is actually your boss. He's a middle management person and you're just a peon. But I was close to a few of my principals, and I think the world of them. And I'm not going to mention their names and embarrass them on a video in case somebody sees it. Oh, Mr. Kemp said something about you on. But I do want to say, I worked with some wonderful people over the years. People that I admired, people that I copied things from.
Yeah.
They copied things from me. If you had told me when I was a senior in high school that I would have ended up teaching for 45 years, I would have called you a bold-faced liar. Never dawned on me. Because as I have told many people before I had my neck accidents, my diving accident in the water, I wanted to go into the United States Secret Service after seeing Clint Hill do what he did with President Kennedy's assassination. I thought that was a very wonderful thing to do. I know he was doing his job, but I wanted to do that. Not do that exact job, but I wanted to protect the President of the United States, or work and find counterfeiters. Federal law enforcement is what I wanted to do. Well, that ended for me on July the 3rd, 1964. And if you'd have told me that I would have gone to North Carolina Wesleyan College and ended up being a teacher for 45 years, no way in the world would I believe that. All I cared about in high school was a baseball glove and a baseball.
That's pretty
Math, physics, all that stuff. I like history, I like English, writing, drawing, but not being a teacher. And then I ran into Dr. Alan Johnson at North Carolina Wesleyan, and I just admired him so much. And I ended up being a teacher. And it was the greatest thing I've ever done. I couldn't wait to get to teach. I always had that butterfly feeling in my stomach at the beginning of every year. Every year. First year, 45th year. Because it was that. I know I'm going to make a difference in somebody's life today. And when you hear things like, and I'm only going to use two examples, and I'm going to let Mr. Chestnut come in here and talk about his experiences with teaching. When you have a kid that grows up to be a 35-year-old man, and you walk out of a convenience store on a Saturday with your nab and your Mountain Dew in your hand, and you run into him, and he says to you, Mr. Kemp, you saved my life. And I said, really, how did I do that? Because I don't remember ever saving anybody's life. Yeah. He said, the words you gave us in school, I followed, and it made a difference in my life. And then when you have a young lady who's now a grown woman see you at an event somewhere and says, I've had a daddy all my life. But if I had to choose a second one, it would be you. Those are just two.
Yeah.
I don't want to take up our time. When you hear stuff like that, it changes your life. And it makes you so proud that you were able to be a teacher. How about you, Mr. Chestnut? What are your images and memories?
So, Mr. Mayor, just great stories, great examples of how you became a teacher and things that you went through. For me, it was a little different because I serve as a adjunct professor with Central Texas College. I work with adults.
Okay.
But the one thing that, I want to share in this video is the impact of any teacher could make on any student's life. An example you just, illustrated is one that we should all take from it. Teaching for all of you teachers out there isn't just a job, right? It's a career. It's something you've chosen to do, right? Your impact, if it changes one person's life, is worth it. Yeah. Just for most of you, you have more access to our children than we as parents do. The parents at work during the day.
7.5 hours.
Yes. Yeah. So the teachers have them. I just do not want you to minimize the scope of the impact that you can have on each individual student, and just take that throughout their school year and your future with you, to know that you could create a bond between you and students where you remain a constant picture in their entire lives, throughout their lives. I just see it as myself. I still maintain communications with some of the teachers I had through school, and I'm 49 years old. Right now here in the town of Fairmont, my 7th grade teacher is here in this town. And I see him and I speak to him. But to be able to see that and let your children see what they become as they get older. He always smiles when he sees me. So it's just one of those things that, again, my gift to you as guidance is treat this as a career. Love these children and make a very good impact on their lives, Mr. Mayor.
Final closing statement. The most cherished possession that I own, it's not money or my car or my home. I know you're saying, well, he's lost his mind. It's sitting on a filing cabinet here in my office. I made a mistake by not having it in my lap before we started this video, and I'm not going to ruin the video by doing that now. But several years ago, a young man that I taught in high school came to my house, knocked on the door, and said, Mr. Kemp, I got something for you. I said, okay, come on in. He said, no, I got to go get in the car, and then I'll come back. And about 30 seconds. And I noticed when he came back, he had a Marine hat, U.S. Marines. And I said, what you going to do with that? He said, I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah.
You deserve
there.
it. Yeah. And it's sitting right in front of my eyes right now. I can see it. everywhere I go, office-wise, it goes. I've had people ask me, was I a Marine? No, but it was given to me by a Marine. Now, anybody who's got any sense that knows this for sure, Marines don't give up their equipment.
That's right.
There is no such thing as a dead Marine. Marines live forever. DIs have beat that into people's
Yes,
heads.
sir. Yes,
Parris Island and San Diego for years. To have been given this, his own personal hat, that he went through hell to get to be a Marine. To give that to me because I was good to him in school, that's top of the line.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
Game changer.
Teachers are wonderful folks, and if
Yeah.
you were a teacher, whether you were one of my friends or I talk with you or not, God bless you.
Yes, sir.
Keep on plugging away because I believe that you're in the best profession ever.
Awesome.